Understanding and finding purpose in your work can be challenging, especially for those who don't love their job. But honestly, finding a sense of purpose is a powerful motivator that can drive you to perform at your absolute best, and find satisfaction in your daily tasks can ultimately lead to a more fulfilling career. So let's define purpose, and it's extremely simple. Purpose is the reason you do what you do. It's the deeper meaning behind your work and the impact you hope to make with it. Some people are blessed and they find purpose that aligns directly with their values and their job role. And then there's some who don't find any sort of purpose or passion in their job. And this requires some people to look for more inspiration and have to actually put in more effort. And that's because purpose doesn't just come from tasks, but it also comes from the broader sense of what impact what you do actually has. And there's actually research that states that employees who find purpose or have a sense of purpose in what they do are more engaged, more motivated, and more satisfied with their jobs. Not only that, but they're also more resilient and they're more resistant to stress and setbacks that can happen during the course of their career. So we can kind of see here that purpose is very important to excelling in your job and being a professional at what you do. It's something that can transform your mundane routines into more meaningful activities, at least in the way that you perceive them. And it can help you find joy and fulfillment, and it's a job that you may consider your dream career, right? And in order for you to really find purpose in what you do, you need to reflect on your own personal values and your own interests. Your values and your principles are important to you. And that's the fact, right? You as a person have a very unique way, we all do, of viewing our own interests and how we perceive them and how we want to push them onto our career or professional path. And in order for you to really find a career that aligns with your purpose, you need to understand what your core values are. What do you find as a value that is extremely important to you? Is it integrity, creativity, helping others, or continuous learning? These are some examples that you need to ask yourself so that you can implement them to see what type of job you would prefer to go to, right? Because you don't want to work for maybe a computer engineer if your lifelong goal is to help others. You might not find that sort of gratitude, because even if what you do indirectly helps others, you might want to feel it directly, right? That's an example of something where your core value is misaligned with what you're actually doing. And this goes into what type of activities actually make you feel happy that you do at work. Maybe you find joy in completing tasks. Maybe you find joy in helping others, and you're in a job that has absolutely none of that. So the purpose is not aligning extremely well with your values and the job that. So the purpose that you have with your values that you have set for yourself don't align well for that job. And what does that mean? Poor performance, right? And this misalignment doesn't necessarily mean that you should quit and start a new career path, but it does mean that maybe in that environment you're in right now, that work environment, it could be something that is hindering your success and something that you should consider, at least in my opinion, and look for another source of job that maybe aligns more in the same field. If you're in a field that you know for sure doesn't align anything with your core values, it could be a time to pivot if it's affecting you that much mentally that it's to the point where you don't want to work there anymore. But before you do that, I want to give you some advice and tell you that you should understand what you do in a bigger picture. So let's go back to that example. If you want to help people and you say, well, I'm not actually helping anybody, I'm not seeing anybody get helped. Well, let's think of it in a bigger sense. How have you, in the wider lens, helped other people in your job? Because even if you don't love every aspect of your job, there's likely ways that you're contributing to something bigger that you may just not be seeing. So let's think about the success of your team. Maybe you are somebody that likes to help other people, but you don't directly see that. However, if you look at it through your team, you are helping your team. You're helping your team through teaching them. You're guiding them to be successful leaders themselves, successful managers in the future. Maybe you're somebody with no subordinates, but then you can consider as well the impact that you're going to have with the end customer, or the impact that you're going to have into your organization. Maybe you work for a good company, you have a good boss, and you can think, well, if I excel here, I'm at least helping in this sense. And it's flip that around and say, instead of you helping your job, how does your job help you in your personal life? So you may not exactly find a lot of value in what you do there at work and the impact that it has on society, but think about the impact that it has in your personal life. Think about the impact that it has on your family. Maybe it's a job that pays you very well. Then in that case, you can say, well, all right, I'm not helping other people doing what I do, but I'm helping my family and I'm helping myself, and that's a benefit on its own. because you're able to buy things, you're able to support your family, you're able to purchase things that maybe can help your children succeed in life. And these types of benefits are not going to be available in every single career path. So twisting that type of mentality and saying, okay, how does my job work for me, can put you in the good path. And I love using this example because it's something I've done. It's something that I've been in where I had a job that it wasn't necessarily something that aligned with my core values. I wanted to be more directly helping people, but at that time I knew that for my life it was helping me a lot. It was bringing in the income I needed, and it was supporting me to the point where I was able to buy a lot of things that put me where I'm at now. You can also see kind of what your organization does to impact the community or the state or the country. For example, there's a grocery store here in Texas called HEB, and HEB always is the first company to start giving out waters, to start helping in disasters. They donate so much money there. Wherever there's natural disaster on Texas, even in Mexico, they'll go and they'll give out free food, free money, free shirts. They do that type of stuff. So you can think, okay, well, I don't like working in a grocery store, but the impact that my job that I work for has is very positive, and that brings some sort of joy for me. Hey team, if you're stuck in your professional career or you need assistance in perfecting your resume or interview skills, you are in luck. I am offering one-on-one coachings where you and I will sit together, we will review your resume, I can provide a template, and we will tailor it specifically for the jobs that you're looking for. I will teach you exactly what people at a director or VP level look at when they're reviewing resumes. I have interviewed over hundreds of employees, so I know exactly what to look for when a resume lands on my desk for a senior manager position. I will guide you to perfect your resume, and we will do mock interviews to prepare you as much as possible. Don't wait, let's pave the path to greater wealth, and there's a link in the description. Now let's get back to the video. And I do want to mention that finding purpose doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing some grand changes, like you're establishing a new community of all recyclable material, or you're creating a new plant, or it doesn't necessarily have to do anything with that. It could just be something as simple as finding joy and meaning in your everyday life. A good example of this could be if you do work directly with customers and you solve their issue, maybe the enjoyment that they get, the gratification that they get when they look at you and they say, oh my God, thank you so much, especially when it's an older person. That is something that you can use to find purpose. That is a way of you coinciding that task with purpose. Maybe you're not in customer service and instead you're in finance. Well, think about how your work ensures the stability and health of the organization, which in turn supports the employees and their families. One of my favorite methods to keep me on track is to create a purpose statement. Think of the show The Simpsons. In this show The Simpsons, Homer works at a factory and they have a sign that says, don't forget you're here forever. And that sign is right above where he works. So he sits, if I'm here sitting, it'll be somewhere where I can physically see it every single day. So what does Homer do? He creates a purpose statement and he removes a lot of the letters and he puts like little stickers on it. And at the end, it spells out, do it for her. And he has a little picture of his daughters at the end of it. And that's a purpose statement, right? He was able to change something negative into positive, and it's a source of motivation for him to say, okay, I'm going to do what I do for her, from his daughters. And that is something very strong and a very good way to find a purpose in what you do. So I'll give you some tips on how to create a good purpose statement. And the first one is to start with your core values and your interests, something that you find very important for yourself. So you can write down some keywords or phrases that you like, and something that really embodies who you are and what captures the most of you. Then you can think about the impact that you want to have. What differences do you want to make through your work or through your actions? So you combine these two elements together and you create a single powerful statement. For example, I want to create innovative solutions. I want to help others. I want to feed my family. Do it for her. Those are some examples of a purpose statement that are very simple, but they can be effective in finding your own purpose. Now, there may be times where you are so misaligned with what you do and what your purpose is that you do need to look for another job, and that's absolutely fine. But make sure that you do invest in the skills that you feel are the most important to you. If you happen to have skills that don't align very well with the core values, then get some of those skills, get better at them, and start applying to those types of jobs. Even if it could be a lower salary, if it just means a happier person, somebody that is more aligned, that could be something that may be worth it. But just remember the repercussions, because you don't want to give up something for something else, right? You don't want to give away the positives from your current job and put them somewhere else and then find out that the negatives here outweigh those negatives over here. So do your research, but it is something you can do. I would just say make sure you're 100% sure you're going to make the right decision. And if you do go this path, make sure you network with people already in that industry. Don't just jump in blind. Go to Reddit, go to LinkedIn. And if you're on LinkedIn, reach out to professionals in that career, maybe in jobs that are very similar or in industries that you want to move into. Ask them questions, ask them how it is, tell them what's going on. And you might not get a response, but sometimes you will. There's only one way to figure out, and that's to do it. And see what they say. Maybe they'll say good things, maybe they'll say bad things, but at least you have some information from the inside. And lastly, let's focus on why you don't have purpose right now. It could be a lack of passion. Maybe you're feeling stuck, or there's just external pressures that are really affecting you and you're not able to find that purpose that you want in life. So again, just focus on aspects that you enjoy and are meaningful to you. Look at ways to incorporate those interests into your job or in a new job. Maybe seek out new projects and new responsibilities that are going to have a feeling of a fresh start already in your job that you have right now. And maybe find small ways to contribute to those things that you do find purpose through a side hustle or volunteering on your time off that can maybe alleviate some of that negative feeling. And that's it for today's video. I hope you took something out of it. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.